Electro Automobiles. Due to increased competition, Electro Automobiles, the Indian subsidiary of Robert Automobile Company, reported lower sales and profits. RAC expects its new model Limo, developed especially for value-conscious customers of India and China, would revive its fortunes. So, RAC is in trouble. She's launched something new that should work, and that's a hope for Electro Automobiles as well. In order to prevent customers from buying competing products, RAC announced the launch of Limo 6 months ahead of schedule. It's savvy and confident. Unrest in its Indian supplier resulted in delayed delivery of essential components to its main plant. Oops. Hence, Limo was launched on schedule only in India. Within a short span, Limo captured 30% of the Chinese market, which was 200% higher than expectation. Oh my god, that's fantastic. They expected to grab 10% of the share. They've got 30% of the share, which is a huge number. Indian customers were becoming increasingly restless because they couldn't get a Limo in India. Electro's dealers were worried customers might switch to other cars. Wonderful. So they've got a golden opportunity. The evidence of the Chinese market is further proof of that. The fact what they've seen in the Chinese market is clear demonstration that this Limo is going to be or is likely to be a big hit. It's slipping out of their hands due to some delayed delivery. Fine, that's what this is about. They thought this was a Hail Mary. We're hoping for it. And then it turned out that it was their hopes were all not misplaced. It's indeed been a big hit in China. Quite likely it will be a big hit in India as well. However, they have this problem. Fine, let's look at the questions. The Indian subsidiary is concerned that the delay in launching the product will give undue advantage to some competitor. The organization was considering the following strategies to keep customers engaged with the company. 1. Ask the dealers to encourage their prospective customers to seek similar products from the competition rather than wait for Limos to launch. Why would I want to do that? My customer is going to talk to my competitors. He's not an idiot. But I don't have to push him in that direction. I don't have to say, okay, my car might or might not come. Why don't you see what the other guys are offering? They might or might not do this, but it's my job to say, hang on, sir, if you're not in a big hurry, maybe another 3-6 months, I will get it done for you. I'll put you on the first list. I want to engage and keep them happy. I might lose customers. You get a long delay in a product launch, you will lose customers. But it's not my job to suggest that they go find something else. Suggest the dealers to accept booking for Limo, announcing the launch within 6 months of booking, while in reality plan to keep postponing launch indefinitely. This is not done. You're conning people. This is unethical. You're lying. Straight away, I'm not going to do this. There's no way I'm going to mark this as a set of choices. Where basically, you tell people that it will happen in 6 months, where you have no clue and you have a plan to keep on extending it indefinitely. You're more or less lying, and you can't have that as one of your answer choices. So it's an easy one to eliminate. Run full page advertisements in the papers every month to keep the interest in the model from ebbing. No mention of the launch date. You spend money, you keep interest going, you maybe get people excited for no reason. You end up turning off a few of them who get wound up by the fact that you keep on doing this ad without the product. But having said that, you're not lying and you keep the interest alive. This can be done for 6 months, 8 months, 9 months. This is not sustainable for 4 or 5 years. People will give up on your project and say, look, I don't want this. And you'll run up huge costs. But as a short-term fix, you keep talking about it, run ads, so make people interested. Anyone looking to make a decision today is probably going to say, okay, I'm not in a hurry. 4 or 5 months later, I'll get the Limo. Right? So this is not bad. 1 and 2 are bad. 2 is 1 is working against your interest. 2 is lying, unethical. So 1 and 2 can be eliminated. 3 we can hang on to. Import parts from outside India and launch the product at a 30% premium, planning a relaunch a few years later of the Indian version. This is all right. The 30% share that Limo has got in China, that's not to be sniffled at. So maybe at a bigger cost, we will import and fend for ourselves, then relaunch a slightly less expensive version or some Indianized version a little later. 3 and 4 I'm on board with, even though they're not best case scenarios, but I'm already in trouble. I'm only looking to fend. I'm not looking to create a great winning strategy. That ship has sailed. Go against its worldwide policy of non-interference in supplier plans and announce a hefty bonus to the employees of the supplier with a hope to temporarily bring the plan to life. Again, a big issue. I have a giant market. Maybe I'll do an exception. They've got 30% of the share in China. It's huge. Right? So it's tempting. So maybe I will do an exception and say, look, this calls for an exception. This is a maybe. Promise the supplier plant a higher margin share of about 5% compared to what was shared earlier with an eye to stem the unrest. This is also a maybe. Tell the supplier, ask him to fix, give him money, or promise bonus to employees and stem the unrest because they might be peeved with the supplier. Both 5 and 6 are not attractive choices. Interfering in somebody else's plant or changing the terms of transaction, not great. So I'll say 1 and 2 we eliminate. 3 and 4 we're okay with. 5 and 6 also okay with. And 2 is a definite no. 2 is unethical. I'm going to go from elimination. So 2 is out. This is out. This is out. 1, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5. We don't like 1 also that much. Therefore 3, 4, 5. And we're taking a set of 3 not great choices. We're going to run ads. We're going to import and launch. We're going to incentivize the employees to make them to shock the plant to life. All are not great choices, but you're not lying. You're not doing something unethical. You're not running up a policy against your own interest. Therefore, choice E works. A collection of least bad options. Mr. Murugan from Chennai experienced the comfort of limo during his visit to China. He was willing to deposit an approximate price of limo to buy the first available unit from Mr. Ahmed, a dealer in Chennai. He wants the first unit. He says, I'll give you the money now. Electro Automobile is yet to announce the actual price and the process for allocation of the vehicles. Which of the following is the best option for Ahmed? There's the customer who brings in money and says, take it. And so you don't want to turn him off. But just because he's giving you the money, you don't want to make any false promises or have him live under the impression that this is going to happen in 2 months or 3 months, or you have something in your hand. So key thing is communication. Key thing is to clearly be transparent in what you're dealing with, but in a way such that you don't turn off the customer. Collect the amount and transfer it to the account of Electro Automobiles instead of keeping it in his personal account. Yeah, it's a good step. Good step. I can't keep it in my account. I'll transfer it to Electro and tell them, hey, this is happening. Or can I transfer it to Electro because I've not yet completed the sale? Fine. So this is not a wrong choice, but the communication part is important. You should either tell Electro that there's a very interested customer, please put him at top of the list and make the first available unit from Mr. Ahmed. He's already for Mr. Murugan. He's already paid the money. I'm transferring it to you, and therefore communicate the same to Mr. Murugan also. That works. But you're taking the money, putting it for Electro, that might not be the best thing to do. Collect the amount from Mr. Murugan. Later, when delivery is delayed, blame it on RAC's problem. No. And you already know what the issue is. So if you collect the money, then you can't blame it on somebody else. Collect 50% of the entire amount and the remaining at the time of the launch. This is alright. You're basically saying, look, we'll get it to you. So I don't want to take the whole money now. The moment it is launched, I'll tell you at the time of launch. This is reasonable. So I might go for choice C, except that the communication is not clear. Not collect the amount, but suggest to Mr. Murugan to write to Electro Automobile. This is also fine, but this is lukewarm. If I don't have any outlook on that, then I shouldn't take the money. But tell him, look, write to Electro Automobiles and get a promise from them that you'll get the first unit, then give me the money. The only thing that I don't like about this is the customer who's coming and giving you the money, you're saying no. And that's an issue. He collect the entire amount Mr. Murugan is willing to deposit after clarifying the delivery and price is subject to company policy. This I like. I'm taking the money, I'll try my best, but I'm very clear this is not in my hands. When it will get delivered, what the price is, that the company has to decide. This is the only choice that is very clear about communicating. So the other choices don't tell you what you're telling Mr. Murugan. When you're telling him take the money, rest later, collect the money, put it in the Electro account, collect the amount, blame it on somebody else. Don't collect the amount, ask him to write. So D is passive. A, B, C don't communicate the reality to Mr. Murugan. E says collect the money. Tell him very clearly the delivery and price are subject to company policy. It's about to RAC or Electro, not in the dealer's hand. When I'll take the money, I'll keep your ideas, your preferences in mind. I'll play for you, but it is not in my hand. Communicating is not in my hand. That is very crucial. So therefore, that because E include that communication, I'd go for choice E.